What would you tell like people who are thinking about going into the RV life or the van life? What kind of advice would you give them?
Expect discrimination.
Uh-huh.
That's the number one. Really, anywhere you go. I mean, like it's not just the police. It looks like you live in there. You make it apparent that you're living the RV lifestyle. Unless you're elderly and in a RV park, they will look at you weird. If it's 10 years or older, you can't go to an RV park. Like as far as like long-term RV parks, it has to be 10. Probably about 40. Probably like a mess, but 50.
Hi,
Hey.
Amber.
Hey.
Hi. Tell us about yourself, where you're from.
Right. I am Amber Zastro. I'm originally from Madison, Wisconsin. I've lived in Humboldt, California for 9 years now. I purchased this lovely RV about a little over a year ago. I purchased it as a mobile art studio. I was living in a home with 2 roommates on the other side of town, and I was dismissed from the household for interesting reasons and not, necessarily agreeable reasons, but so I turned my mobile art studio into my full-time home, which is interesting because it's an older unit. It's a 1989 Sprinter Mallard.
Yeah.
It's a 25-foot. I purchased it from a young man he was a mechanic. He'd been working on it for a few years.
Yeah.
I purchased it from a woman who bought it for a midlife crisis after she divorced. Took it to Burning Man 3 times.
Wow.
So this vehicle is Burning Man, ready. But it's stripped out. It's a completely stripped vehicle, so there's no restroom, there is no kitchen facility.
Wow.
But luckily, I was a chef and ran restaurants for 18 years.
Wow.
So I'm really good at cooking improv. So I do a lot of butane, stove cooking, and campfire cooking, which is a break from my regular.
Is it okay if I look inside slightly?
Just a little bit. So it's a pretty traditional model. It's gutted, like I said. So I mean, I've had to rebuild all the walls. The frame was all falling down.
Yeah.
So I've had to replace the roofing. This is flat and groove redwood that I'm installing in the top. Most of the things inside of the RV are upcycled and reclaimed items.
Mm-hmm.
Humboldt County has a lot of those free piles. So most of the furniture and
cool.
And the blankets and a lot of the artwork is found artwork. I like to save people's artwork that they've left on the side of the road. I found it. But yeah.
Your bed is kind of.
Well, there's this, but then up top.
Yeah.
There is actually these stairs that I built.
Yeah.
So there's those stairs.
The bed is upstairs.
Yep. So there's stairs up to the bed. And there's windows on both sides and on the top above, above the bed. So there's really good ventilation up there.
Yeah.
But it's really shallow height, so it's really warm at night. So it's not terrible, but it's poorly insulated. And
does it get cold?
So cold.
Yeah.
So cold. The unit used to have systems that would run air to the back and stuff, but either the engine has to be running or I have to run a generator, and they're noisy and they're costly. I have solar power up top.
Yeah.
I have a panel up top.
Okay.
And then actually you have installed a rooftop yoga platform / sunset platform.
Wow.
And then in the middle, I've been working on improving the roof because has a lot of leaks. So I've been plastering it with a indoor-outdoor multi-functioning plaster. And there was a hole. I took out the air conditioner and I put a marble checkerboard.
Wow.
In the hole, it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And so now I'm a rooftop. I've been putting a garden around it because I grow succulents as my side hustle.
Yeah.
I am a caregiver for a young woman with a disability. So I work for the state.
Okay.
I'm an IHSS worker.
Cool.
That I do during the week, and then every weekend I come down here to the plaza, and and I sell succulents and in custom containers and sell my paintwork and artwork. I do pour painting and sculpture and
entrepreneur. I like it.
Yes.
So you got your day job with IHSS, and then you sleep here. Where do you park to sleep and stuff?
That is one of the more complicated things is parking. But what else is complicated? This is my lovely girlfriend.
Hello. Hi.
The complicated thing is parking. There's a 72-hour limit.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the city, and I think that's a state law as well. So it's very much complicated in my life. I was actually very recently, Cal Poly has purchased many properties in this town, in this area, for their own uses in the future. And I was recently, 2 days ago, run out of one of the locations they had purchased. I was on the city street icing in front of their property.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so much. Apparently, it was the property line, and they arrested my friend, and like it was very hostile. It's been pretty aggressive as far as the parking situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's one safe parking area.
Yeah.
But there's very tight time restrictions on it.
Okay.
So it's like 7 a.m., 7 p.m. you can come and go. And I work later.
Okay.
So that doesn't really work for me.
So it's like people
really
go to the marsh or the community center.
Yep.
It kind of
the
varies.
Marsh is, it's all, they're both very, there's a criminal element there, which I am not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm new homeless, if you were, as I've only been without underhoused for the last about 4 months.
Okay. How about going to the restroom? How and hygiene and
that is the second most nightmarish thing, is that there aren't any public restrooms I can think of, like 3 or 4 porta potties that are accessible. Businesses don't allow it, and unless you purchase something, and even then sometimes they don't allow you to.
Yeah.
So the stigma is really, really aggressive here. That's the one thing that's bothered me the most, is that, I mean, even the police have this stigma developed of how RV people are. And actually I have a limerick on the side of my vehicle that expresses the fact that, like, not every RV is like a meth lab. Some of us are normal people that have been driven out of our homes because of the economy and because of the gentrification of this area, and it's really frustrating that I'm discriminated against because of my living situation, which wasn't my choice. I was forced out at the home, and so it's really frustrating to be discriminated against. It's a form of classism, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that we're kind of seen as like trashy, but I've met so many people now through the RV community, and they've been so accepting and warm. And there are a lot of like older people that can't afford their mortgages anymore, and they're moving into RVs, and they're doing the same thing where they get harassed by the cops every couple of days. They have to move their RV, and I don't understand why it has to be so stigmatized. And I did speak with one of the officers in town here, and he was really nice. And he understands that, like, we're not all those people that they leave trash and waste, and I don't think that's a good representation of RV people. They get
kind of stereotyped with the rest of the homeless community, it seems like.
Yes, and I mean, even the homeless people that are, civilized, it's just, there's a few bad eggs that make us all look bad. And it's very frustrating because I'm college educated. I mean, I've had a career my whole life. And it's just frustrating to see how people are treated in this lifestyle.
What are the pros and cons of living in an RV?
If I don't like my neighbors, I can drive away.
That's what somebody else said too. That's funny.
That's a big one. That's a really big one. I like that one a lot. God, cons, I freeze my ass off.
Gas is expensive,
Gas is crazy expensive. I went to Blue Lake and got it for $5.14 earlier today, which is
nice.
Cheapest gas in the area. But yeah, it was a drive out there, so that was, give and take on that.
Because you're carrying your house, driving your house.
Yeah, it's more expensive. Yeah. But I mean, pros, you can go to beautiful places and park there for a minute before somebody comes and says something to you, and see something beautiful from like the privacy. If you're an introvert, the RV is invaluable, because I mean, I could rent a room in a home because I do make good money, and I do have the ability to rent a place, but not a house, because my credit's poor, and I don't have a co-signer because none of my family's out here. I'm all out here by myself, so like I really don't have that lifeline. So I can rent a room in a house full of strangers. And I'm an introvert, and I'm an artist, and I'm a wanderer, and that is why I decided to stay with this plan. Because it's really for somebody that is made uncomfortable by like society and shit. Definitely the way to go.
Cool.
It's like a private rented room that you pay for.
What would you tell like people who are thinking about going into the RV life or the van life? What kind of advice would you give them?
Expect discrimination. That's the number one. Really, anywhere you go. I mean, like it's not just the police. It looks like you live in there. If you make it apparent that you're living the RV lifestyle, unless you're elderly and in a RV park, they will look at you weird. If it's 10 years or older, you can't go to an RV park. Like as far as like long-term RV
Wow.
parks, otherwise you are an outcast. And like even campgrounds in particular, sometimes it's very, very hard to find parking or like long-term parking. It's a unicorn in this area. I've put Craigslist ads out half a dozen times, and I get really weird hits like from weird perverts. Never anything honest and like legitimate. So finding long-term parking for an RV will be an issue if you're in any area that has any.
Wow, that's tough. Well, before I say goodbye, Amber, anything else you want to tell the viewers about RV life?
It's a lot of fun. You get to I art decoed mine myself because I figured either they think I'm a lunatic and a meth man, or they think that I'm very eccentric. So I figured I'd go with eccentric, since it's the obvious choice. But
Cool, awesome, Amber. Thank you.